I know that a quiz about books hates to see me coming. If there is a quiz about books on the internet, best believe I will be doing it. And I just managed to get back into this fucking iPad. I just managed to get back into this iPad. This iPad has caused me nothing but trouble since the day I bought it. I'm telling you, I bought this at the airport in Doha because I think it was a little doolally I was flying to Bali for a book festival, and firstly we got deboarded from the flight. I got to Heathrow. It's my birthday, by the way. We get to the airport and check in for the flight, and they're like, no, you actually are on standby for this flight. Like, what? I booked this flight. And they're like, yeah, so the Qatar Airlines will just sell extra tickets. They just sell more tickets than there are for the flight, which is daylight robbery, by the way. That is an absolutely insane thing to happen. So the way that I believe airlines should be tried at The Hague for their crimes against humanity, the way airlines are just allowed to operate outside of the law somehow, how is that a lawful thing? How is that legal for airlines to sell more tickets than they have on the plane and then just kick people off even though you've paid for a ticket? Yeah, they just said, we've sold it to someone else, so you can't get on the plane until tomorrow. So I got pushed back till the next day. So already I had to wait 24 hours for the flight. Then I fly to Doha for the layover, and we miss the connecting flight because the first flight was delayed. So then I have to spend another 12 hours at the airport. And at some point in the madness, I see that there's an Apple store and I buy this iPad. I think I hadn't slept properly. Listen, I did want an iPad, but I don't know why I chose there and then to buy it. So I bought this iPad and I set it all up. And the second time I went to use it, I type in the passcode and it's like, wrong. It's like, nope, that's not the password. And I'm like, Diva, it is the password. I set it yesterday. I set this password yesterday. It's the password I use for everything. And it's saying, no, it's a different sequence of 6 numbers. But I'm like, that's the only sequence of 6 numbers I ever use. So that was odd. And I got locked out of the iPad. So then I had to take it to the Apple store. And they were like, we'll let you back into the iPad, but you have to factory reset the iPad. So that was kind of annoying. I had to factory reset and wipe all of the apps that I downloaded onto it. Not a massive deal. It's fine. So then I turn the iPad back on and I'm trying to log into the iCloud account that I had made specifically for this iPad. So I'm logging into the iCloud and it says, oh, we just need to do 2-factor authentication. You need to tell us the old password to your iPad in order to access your iCloud account. I don't know the old password. That's the whole reason that we're in this predicament. That's the whole reason we're in this conundrum. Because I didn't know that password, so I had to factory reset the iPad so that I couldn't get back into my Apple account because I didn't know the iPad password that I set. I don't even know what happened there. So I phoned Apple support. They couldn't help me. So I just had to make a whole new account, reset the entire thing. Anyway, basically, I just got back into my iPad, and so this is an excuse to use it. That was a really long way of telling you that, I'm really sorry. But the Booker Prize just announced their International Booker Prize long list for 2025. It is such a good long list. The judging panel includes Anton Hur, Max Porter, just so many great people, and I think that the books they've selected really reflects how wonderful they are and what innovative and exciting writers they are has led to a really innovative and exciting International Booker Prize long list. And the Booker Prize have a quiz on their website of which book you should read first from the long list. So I'm going to do the quiz. I actually already have 4 of the books because I bought them pre-Booker Prize long listing. I just thought they sounded interesting. So I already have On the Calculation of Volume, The Book of Disappearance, etc. So now I want to take the quiz and see which one I should read first. On my iPad. This fuck-ass iPad that I bought that has caused me nothing but issues until today, because we're in, baby. So, the quiz is... Also, I think the iPad I got is too big. In the shop, it seemed like more value for money to get a bigger one, but now that it's in my lap at home, I am like, this is actually quite large. Anyways... Oh, and then the funny thing is when I went to the Apple store, I was like, to get my, the thing factory reset, or to try and get into the iPad, I said to them, guys, can I be honest with you? I think I bought too big an iPad. And the guy's like, okay, we could swap it. And then I tell him, oh, I bought it in Doha. And he's like, yeah, we can't swap that. If you buy it at an airport, apparently you're no longer entitled to get a refund or anything from the Apple store. So I don't know what happened there, but we're going to take the quiz. Which book from the International Booker Prize 2025 long list should you read first? In fact, let's screen record. Where's the button to do that? This damn iPad. Is there anything this iPad can do successfully? Out of control. Screen recording. Okay. Tech Grandpa has nailed it. I've finally cracked this iPad. Not literally, although I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing that happens is I drop it and it cracks. Okay, so hopefully you can now see this. So, from desire and disability to a tragedy in the English Channel to a 20th century queer classic, the long list features books from everywhere for everyone. But where should you start? If you need a helping hand to navigate the long list, our quiz will help you discover which of the 13 books suits your taste perfectly. Let's take the quiz. Let's do this. What do you look for in a work of translated fiction? A book with an urgent edge, topical, current, and thought-provoking? A book to help me escape the modern world? Or a book with sharp observations about the past? You know, the one thing I think the Booker Prize really excels with is picking books with an urgent edge, because you have to consider that they are picking not just a great book, but they are picking a great book of the year. So I think that the Booker Prize committee often choose things that speak to the present moment and speak to the present time. And I will say, I have correctly predicted the Booker Prize winner 4 times in a row now. And I think that's because you have to consider not only what is the best book, but also what is the best book that speaks to this year, that is like a statement about the state of the world and humanity and society and our expectations and our grievances right now. So I do think that the Booker Prize often picks books that have an urgent edge really well, so that's what I want from them, because I think that's going to help me immediately read the winner. Which of these films would you watch first? Love Lies Bleeding, Cloud Atlas, Waltz with Bashir, Run Lola Run, The Florida Project, The Substance, The Old Oak, Still Alice, The Father, Before Sunrise, Women Talking, Carol, or Lost in Translation? Wow. So I guess each of the books on the long list must be similar to each of these films in a kind of corresponding way. I will say I've only seen 2 of these films before, and that is The Substance and Women Talking. And of those, I really do love The Substance. I think it's a really interesting thought experiment, and uses something innovative like the substance, like something that you can actually inject into your body to discuss women's body positivity and the process of aging and how the entertainment industry churns women out. And it's also, I think a comment on Ozempic and plastic surgery, etc. So I think I'm going to press The Substance. Long books, or short stories? What are you looking for in terms of length? The bigger the better, something short and sweet. How about a happy medium? Or actually, I'm all about a short story. I do think that there is something to say for the ability to write concisely. I do think it's a real talent to be able to write concisely. And so I think I want something short and sweet, especially as a starting point. My first book from this long list to start with, to kind of get the ball rolling. I think that will be good. The most interesting stories are set in a big city, among close friends and family, in a small claustrophobic space, in a world beyond my imagination, in a life or death situation. I love books set in cities. I am a city boy to my core, to the core of my being. I love living in a city. I really enjoy that you have everyone there, that people from all walks of life are in one place. These spaces can be multicultural and they can present new challenges and new ideas and new storytellers that maybe you wouldn't have encountered otherwise. So I love being in the city, and I like reading books about it too. Which genre do you often gravitate towards? Something with a bit of romance? A read that's going to make me laugh out loud? I love an emotional family drama, a tragedy to pull at my heartstrings, speculative fiction is my thing, sci-fi, something dystopian or mind-bending, or I prefer sharp, biting satire. I mean, by process of elimination, I'm going to remove sci-fi. I'm going to remove... Actually, all of this sounds good. And I'm thrilled at the prospect that this long list includes all of these things in order for them to be options. So I feel like this is giving me even more excitement about this long list. I think right now I'm actually really enjoying books about love. I think I want something with a spot of romance. You know? Literary romance. Do you want this book to make you laugh, make you cry, blow your mind, teach you something new, make your hair... Oh, make your heart sore? I read it as hair. Make your hair sore. I was like, well, I don't want to go bald. Is my wig gonna fly? Or give you chills. I always want to cry. You know me, I always want to cry. Okay. Your ideal central characters are unreliable witnesses, familiar and easy to empathize with, losing their grip on reality, strong, independent women, a chorus of voices offering multiple perspectives, or underdogs on the fringes of mainstream society. Okay, it's going to be one of those bottom two. Although I do love people who are losing their grip on reality. I love an unhinged character. That's why I love Otesha Moshfegh and the book Bratz. And yeah, so much more. But a chorus of voices offering multiple perspectives. That kind of makes me think of like Evenings and Weekends or Homegoing or After Sappho. Underdogs on the fringes of mainstream society. Books like Bad Habit. What do I want right now? What am I looking for right now? I think a chorus of voices, you know? And I think that will probably align with the city thing. Chorus of voices. That feels like the setting you would find that kind of thing in. When choosing a book, what draws you in? Social and political themes, complex characters, a juicy plot with unexpected twists, an immersive atmospheric setting, or a perspective on life that's very different from my own. I think social and political themes, yes. Complex characters, yes. And a perspective on life that's very different from my own, yes. So what am I looking for right now? You know what? Social and political themes. I think that right now is such an interesting time, socially and politically. You know, given people who are currently in power, things change every single day. And it's scary. It's a really wild time to exist. So I think I need a book that's going to help me make sense of it. Which writing style do you gravitate towards? Straightforward and concise, richly poetic and descriptive? Say no more. It's going to be richly poetic and descriptive every single time. And now before I get on to the last question, I just wanted to let you know that today's video is very kindly brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building a website or an online brand. And the best news is you don't need any coding experience. You don't need to be an expert web developer. You don't need to be able to fix an iPad that's faulty. All you need is some kind of ambition, because Squarespace has loads of incredible templates that you can customize and make completely your own. From the ability to make a blog or an email sign-up list, you can have flexible payments for your customers, and there's also AI SEO to make sure your website is appearing on search results. So all your work goes towards something and you can be discovered, which is so important with your business. With Squarespace, you're guaranteed to put your best foot forward. So you can head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website or online brand, you can use the code JackInTheBooks at squarespace.com/JackInTheBooks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay guys, my camera died. So it's been like 15 minutes for me. The anticipation is killing me. I've been stuck on this screen wanting to finish this. Okay, I'm gonna start screen recording again in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so basically, I know that only a second has passed for you, but I have been sitting here wanting to know my result. So now my camera is back with battery. Do you judge a book by its cover? Always. Come on now. And the result is Reservoir Bitches by Dalia de la Cerda, translated by Julia Sanchez. Oh, and Heather Cleary. I love Julia Sanchez's translations of Eva Baltazar's books so much. I've read all of them. I love them. I would rank them Boulder, Permafrost, Mammoth, but all of them are spectacular. Okay, so I've liked Julia Sanchez's work previously, so this sounds up my street. So in the linked stories of Reservoir Bitches, 13 Mexican women prod the bitch that is life as they fight, sew, cheat, cry, and lie their way through their tangled circumstances. That sounds like rip-roaring fun. Like straight off the bat, that sounds like a riot. I'm already excited about this. From the all-powerful daughter of a cartel boss to the victim of transfemicide, from a house full of spinster seamstresses to a socialite who supports her politician husband by faking indigenous roots. These women spit on their own reduction and invent new ways to survive, telling their stories in bold, unapologetic voices. At once social critique and black comedy, Reservoir Bitches is a raucous debut from one of Mexico's most thrilling new writers. Oh, it sounds so good. It sounds brilliant. Yeah, that's right up my street. And that is the book that I am going to start with from this year's Booker Prize, International Booker Prize long list. Maybe it's worth here just pointing out the distinction. So basically the Booker Prize is books that were originally written in English, and then the International Booker Prize is books that were translated into English. So these are all translated books. I urge you, read books in translation. It opens your mind to new ways of storytelling, new methods of storytelling, especially when something was not written to cater to the English audience. It challenges me constantly to think about, you know, different ways you can approach sharing a narrative. And I'm so grateful to the International Booker Prize for existing and championing these voices, because I always end up discovering so many interesting new writers that I didn't know of before, and also translators. And that's the other thing too. Often translators choose what they translate. Anton Her, who was on the judging panel, has become a friend of mine, and every time I talk to him, I learn so much. And you know, he's always talking about how he chooses what he translates. He reads so much fascinating literature, and then he picks the things that he thinks should be translated and deserve that platform. And so he has become a translator who I really trust to provide me with great stories, you know, because I know that he cherry picks the best ones. So yeah, I really recommend getting familiar with different translators, always paying attention to who is translating the work that you love. And I can't wait to kick off with Reservoir Bitches and the rest of the International Booker long list. So thank you so much for watching this video. All the best, stay in touch, have the most wonderful day. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Goodreads, etc., etc., my main channel. And me and my iPad, who has been the best supporting actor of this video, will catch you very, very soon. Bye-bye!